talk about what's going to happen next, but I've been on a journey with these guys for 6.5 years, and the office you sit in the first year I was here was just that one little room that Scott and Barbara have probably been sitting in today, but it was just Vlad and me, and a guy in Edinburgh called Richard Warren who had a huge expense account that I don't think Scott's still finished paying off. And a guy called Rick Henry, who Gary probably remembers actually, and who was a pre-sales guy who knew a lot less about the product even then than Gary. So it has been an absolutely amazing journey to go from a company that had a couple of clients in conferencing through to winning things like City of Chicago and Microsoft, and then Barbara coming on board and winning DTCC and having a credible presence in a completely different vertical, which was cemented by winning a second customer in a region that we almost had no business being in. So there's there are a lot of reasons beyond just Scott saying the board's behind us to believe that if a few little things are got right, the potential to really go to some extremely exciting places exists. And ultimately we get there because the market votes with its feet and its checkbook, and the market is doing that. Maybe not as fast as we'd wish they were all the time, but slowly they are doing it. Those of you who were here a little bit earlier, Scott and I were talking about the new website which will go live on January the 2nd, if I work over the Christmas holidays.
You will.
Yeah, Scott raised a good point, which I will. And I won't do that because I care what Scott thinks or because he tells me to, but because mostly people at Metratech care. And that's why, in spite of some pretty insurmountable odds at times, we've won a bunch of deals that we had no business winning, and probably weren't that equipped to win. So you should all feel a lot of pride doing what you do and doing it for the company you do it for. Now, what I think Scott was going to say, but I'm going to steal his thunder, is I'm going to move on and work for myself now. I have decided that it's painful because I see the look of disappointment in your eye. I know. Don't worry, you'll survive. But no, I mean, 6.5 years is a long time, and that is not in any way, shape, or form a rejection of Metratech. I just want to work for me. Now, whether I continue to engage with you guys or Scott on some level, look, when you do what I've done for as long as I've done, and you've done it with Scott, and I think I've watched Scott grow and he's watched me grow. 6.5 years ago, there was a guy who called me up for a job interview and spent an hour talking about metadata. He asked me if I knew what metadata was, and it's a damn good job that he then talked for the next 59 minutes.
You still know what it is?
As I was going 2 St. Ives, I metadata with 7 Ys. I never got any further than that. But seriously, once Metratech's in here, you can leave the building, but the building kind of doesn't leave you. So, articulating this stuff, and I've been through lots of taglines: applied imagination, dynamic business modeling, agreements-based billing, but they're a part of me just as much as they are a part of the company, and I don't think I'll ever stop believing or being an advocate for that. So look guys, I'm going to shut the hell up, but it's a great place to be, and it'll be even better when you get where you're going, and I really will always be a part of that. And I think deep down inside Scott knows that too. So, that's it. I'll shut up now.
Cheers, Steve.
Cheers. No, well, it's much more succinct than your writing. So thank you for that. Thank you for all your hard work. I appreciate it.
Very sorry.
No, working with you has been a pleasure.
And from a sales side, Keith, we do owe you. You know, we owe you because a lot of the customers that come to us come because of marketing. They find us, they listen to the words, they say, oh, this sounds interesting. So thank you.
Yeah.
And even he's got a bluebird.
Yes.
Courtesy of Keith.
Yes, it is.
What's bluebird? Tell what? Got in a conversation with him, Keith?
Well, it was indeed. It was indeed. Talk!
We did that.